Hey, what's up, guys? This is Dino. Figured I'd make another video real quick, talk about what kind of day we had. Boy, oh boy, what a day did we have. Actually, the last 2 days. Um, yeah, it hurts when you see these red days, especially after a nice run up for a couple days or a week or so, thinking the squeeze was about to start, just to be let down by massive drops. Today we were down 6.29%. Excuse me. Caught a nice bounce toward the end of the day, but came right back down in the after hours. Now this has a lot to do with APE's 8K filing. If you want more information on that, go Google APE's 8K filing. It's to do with Vanguard and share ownage. I'm not really going to talk about that in this video. Anyway, let's talk about where it bounced today, where it possibly could be finding support. Like my last video said, we fell out of this rising wedge. I had a feeling it was going to fall out of it because it looks like the same pattern from a couple weeks ago. And it did the same thing. It fell. When it comes to AMC, I never trust it 100% ever. And I don't go by what any YouTuber says ever. They kind of have a mind of its own, or the algo has a mind of its own. Who knows? Maybe one day we'll know how it all works and what really was going on behind the scenes with hedge funds and all of that jazz. But anyway, we broke out of the ascending wedge and found support on this green line right here that you see, which happens to be the resistance line from the main wedge going back to when we hit 72. Kind of ironic that it bounced off of it when it took us so long to break out of it. Yeah, hopefully it does bounce and it's just testing it, which is normal. You know, when you break out of a wedge, a lot of times it'll go back and test the trend line and see if it is going to use it as support or not. But overall, this pattern, to me, it looks like a big M. Ascending M. And what do M's mean? M's, I've always been taught M's mean downward momentum, just like W's mean upward momentum. So yeah, I can see it coming back, excuse me, a pretty good ways if it does break through this this resistance, possibly support line right here. Like my last video said, I did sell my calls, like the video before said I would. If it breaks below the ascending wedge, I sold them. Right there, I had a plan. I stuck to it, and I sold them. And I did rebuy at the end of the day when it was around $5.20. I was able to make 8 free calls from here to here by selling and rebuying here. I stayed with the March 10th $6 calls, and I'll let it ride till Monday or Tuesday and see where we go from there. But if it does break below this green line, like I said a minute ago, I would probably sell them again and cut my losses to see where we're going to end up. If we're going to fill that $4.30 gap, which a lot of people is talking about right here, $4.30 down to about a 20-cent gap. You know, a lot of times AMC likes to fill gaps just like SPY does, so I wouldn't be surprised if it did come back down here, just like this pattern is very similar to it, all the way back down. Look, it repeats itself, guys. You know the algorithm and the fractals and the patterns and all of that stuff. It looks just like it. Everyone's hoping because it was possibly a breakout of the 3-year long downtrend. Some people see it like Ants Trades does. It did break out, and some people say it didn't break out. Personally, like I said in my first video I made 2 days ago, I don't think it did break out yet, because if you do you do some trend lines in a certain few spots, it still has a little ways to go. I'm not going to get into that. Maybe in my next video I'll get into that. I worked all day and I just kind of wanted to make a quick video to go over what AMC did today and what I'm doing with my options. Speaking of options, I see a lot of March 17th, 26 calls being sold, and I would assume that's because of that's what Ants Trades is holding. Guys, first off, that is definitely a YOLO play to me. For you to be picking calls that far out the money, it's definitely a YOLO play. And those calls are down 15%, 20% since yesterday, I believe. So I know a lot of people are losing money. Don't trust no one. Don't go by what a YouTuber says. He said don't buy him. Don't buy him. He tells you that for a reason. You know, if he loses his money, it's his money. You don't need to lose your money off of what someone said on YouTube. But yes, if you're going to buy calls, buy them maybe $1 out the money or in the money, and buy them at least 3 weeks to a month and a half out. I try to stay a month out at all times. My March 10th calls will be a month out tomorrow. I probably will roll them Monday, depending on what kind of day it is. Maybe I am down maybe 15% on those right now myself. But I did average down today. I bought 3 more, so I think my average is a little lower than that. But I might roll them. But like I said before, don't go buying the calls that I say I have or buying the calls that someone else says they have. It's not worth it, especially if you don't know much about options. Let's get back into the chart real quick before I say a few other things and close the video out. We already talked about it using this resistance line as support and possibly bouncing back into the wedge. Let's draw a little pattern right here. What I would like to see. Maybe sideways a little bit. Maybe excuse me, after our sell-off, a little sideways like that, and then maybe have a good day next Wednesday. So I think that's a Wednesday. But yeah, something like that. I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on that, but you know, that's very similar to what happened back here. So hopefully that is the case and it don't break below this, but you need to weigh your options both. You know, if it does break out or it does drop, this will be my price point right around here. $5. I would say, I think earlier I said $5 was my limit. If it breaks below $5, which means it will definitely put it below this this resistance support line right here, and I would have to sell out and refigure out some stuff and maybe jump back in after if it's going to fill that gap at the bottom. Let's see, what else do I have here? Oh yeah, the Marantz ants beef. That stuff is hilarious, guys. I know you've been keeping up with it. It's crazy. But there's a lot of hate coming from the guy Marantz. I watched his live feed today a few minutes, and he just spews hate. So if I was you, I'd stay away from that guy. Oh yeah, I wanted to say after the vote for AMC and APE goes through, and it is a yes, there will be no more APE. We will only have AMC, and the charts will switch back to how they were before. And if you never sold and you always wondered what your average was supposed to be at, it'll go back to the original average if you haven't sold or bought back in at too much of a higher price. So that's good. Charts going back like they used to be. Let me see. I wrote down a few things. Trading with emotions. I've been watching him since he started. The point of interest. We are at a nice point of interest, and I'm liking a nice turnaround within the next few days for possibly topping this 732 high here. I would be looking in between $7.50 and $8, unless we did break out of the ascending wedge and maybe go up a little bit more than that. who knows, if we are starting a new cycle, the 3-year cycle, like Ants Trade says, you know, a week, a few days, who knows? It might pop up and might start that pop up that we're all waiting for. He did switch from the January run up theory to now it's the June run up theory. Not saying he's right or he's wrong, or I agree with him or I don't agree with him. I do follow him. I enjoy his content, so I'm not going to talk bad about him at all. Just don't trust no one. Don't trust him. Don't trust Matt Kors, me, no one. Don't, do a lot of D&D. It frustrates me because I know a lot of people losing money. I think that's about it. I looked at my no squeeze unless. Oh yeah, I wanted to say no squeeze is gonna happen unless SPY is in a bull trend. SPY did break out. Like a week ago. If it holds it and it keeps going up, that's good for AMC. So we don't want SPY falling back into its wedge, under its wedge. Also, I think it's right on the support line right now. I'm not gonna pull it up because I don't have much time. But if you're interested in SPY videos, just leave me a few comments and I'll be glad to make them also. And hopefully these videos will get better and better as I make them. This is just like my 3rd or 4th video, and I'm starting to get a little more comfortable with talking about everything that I know and I feel about what's going to happen, or my TA, whatever you want to call it. I just want to get my voice out there. So I appreciate you listening. Have a nice evening.